ambitious are you in the workplace? Turns out there is a growing gap between women and men when it comes to how much they want to get ahead. According to the annual Women in the Workplace report, 80% of women said they want to be promoted at their jobs versus 86% of men. This is the first time we're seeing this big of a divide when it comes to ambition. And that gap widens even more when we look at entry level and senior roles. For more, let's bring in Rachel Thomas. She is the CEO of Lean In, one of the companies behind this report. Thank you for being here. I mean, the data found that all workers, regardless of gender, were equally committed to doing their best work. So what are some of the reasons why women are less interested in moving up in their careers than men?
So we looked at the data carefully to see what was going on, and underneath that ambition gap is a support gap. Women, when they get the same career supports as men, it falls away. So if they have a sponsor, if they're put up for promotion, get stretch assignments, have managers who advocate for them in their work, the ambition gap no longer exists. And of course, the problem is women are not getting that same level of support.
You mentioned a few examples, but what are some other missing support structures for women in the workplace?
So you talked a little bit so one thing that's happening right now is 50% of companies are placing only prioritizing women's advancement, and 20% are not prioritizing women's advancement at all. And it's not just about lack of commitment. We're seeing signs of lack of action, rolling back policies and programs that we know are particularly valuable to women. So, for example, remote and flexible work, which continues to be critically important given women still work a double shift. Access to formal sponsorship programs, which matters because women are far less likely to be sponsored than men, and particularly be sponsored by the senior level employees who can open doors. Career development programs with content tailored specifically for women, which matters because women are up against a different set of barriers. Companies are rolling back all these things. So we're seeing declining commitment to women's advancement, and then a decline in the actions that we know are so critically important to support women. At the very moment, we see a direct link between that declining ambition and lack of support.
I only have 30 seconds left with you. Look, I'm driven by goals. I totally get it if people want to go in, do their job and go home. There is no fault to them. But what do you think what are the consequences of having a wide gap like this that we're talking about?
The consequences are we need women to feel as motivated, which means they need to feel as supported. So we have been doing this report for over a decade, and companies have made hard-earned gains in women's representation all across the corporate pipeline, and particularly in leadership. So we need to keep advancing women and keep that commitment high, or we risk rolling back all of that hard-earned progress. So our message to companies this year is if you took the eye off the ball, so women and supporting women, 2026 needs to be the year you recommit to advancing women.
Rachel Thomas, thank you.